My ignorant parents preferred my adopted brother over me, so 15 years later, I abandoned them. I was 8 when my parents adopted Stephen, a boy a year younger than me. From day one, he was demanding and manipulative, always getting what he wanted. My parents spoiled him, claiming he deserved more because of his rough past. Gifts on holidays were only for Stephen. My favorite pizza nights became McDonald's nights because he preferred it. Complaining got me nowhere, they always took his side. The breaking point was my 16th birthday. My parents finally planned a party for me at my favorite pizza place. I invited all my friends, excited to feel special for once. But Stephen sulked the whole week before. On the day of the party, the cake arrived, chocolate, his favorite, not mine. My parents said Stephen had asked to share the party and that I'd agreed. Furious, I called him out. Stephen played innocent, and my parents ended the party by kicking me out while Stephen happily cut my cake. Even my friends, who stood up for me, were told to leave. From that moment, I decided I'd leave too. I saved for 2 years, got a scholarship, and planned to move out on my 18th birthday. When the day came, I packed my bags. My parents were shocked and tried to stop me, claiming they'd planned a joint celebration with Stephen next month. I reminded them they'd replaced me years ago, gave them the finger, and left. 5 years later, karma hit them hard. Stephen had grown into an entitled adult, constantly sponging off my parents. His latest demand was for a brand new car, which my parents couldn't afford. Instead of saying no, they took out a loan, plunging themselves into debt to appease him. But their golden child still wasn't satisfied. He ran through their money faster than they could recover, and with no one else to turn to, they came crawling back to me. I received a desperate email from my parents, begging me for financial help. They explained their situation, blaming their debt on unforeseen expenses rather than their choices. When I agreed to meet with them, I could sense their entitlement hadn't faded. At the meeting, I asked for an apology, not just for the past but for their continued favoritism that had brought them to this point. Instead of apologizing, they said I owed them an apology for abandoning the family. They claimed they did everything they could for me and that I was being selfish for holding a grudge. I calmly smiled and said I'd help them. A week later, I sent them the money they'd asked for, counterfeit bills I'd gotten from a prank shop. I knew exactly what would happen next. True to form, they gave the money straight to Stephen without question. Stephen, being the reckless fool he'd always been, decided to use the fake money at a casino, where he was promptly caught. He was arrested for attempting to pass counterfeit cash and ended up in jail. My parents, mortified and furious, tried to call me to berate me, but I blocked them on everything. I didn't feel bad for a second. They'd spent years enabling Stephen, letting him ruin their lives while casting me aside. This was just the logical outcome of their own choices. As for me, I continued living my best life, free of their drama. I'd built a career, found true friends, and created a family of my own. For the first time, I felt like I'd won, not through revenge, but by walking away and letting karma handle the rest.